came nowhere near creating such an authentic, tactile representation of healthy bonding and attachment. When I realized what this was years later as an anthropology and social work student, I positively flashed back to other non-industrial countries where I had seen similar scenes on a less grand level: Morocco, Thailand, Bali, and an Aboriginal reserve in Australia. These memories also viscerally informed me about the kind of relational love I had never seen in my own or my friends' families. As I digested this experience over the years and used it to overcome my denial about what I had missed out on as a child, I began the decades-long quest that has led me to write this book, as well as The Tao of Fully Feeling, which precedes it. The Tao of Fully Feeling is a companion to this book and elaborates many of the foundational principles of this book. This book, then, is my hopeful effort to create a map that you can follow to heal the wounds that come from not enough childhood love. If I am a bit repetitive at times about issues like shrinking the critic and grieving the losses of childhood, it is my attempt to find different ways to emphasize the great importance of engaging these themes of recovery work over and over again. If you find yourself lost and not sure of how to get back onto the map, these themes will always be key portals for re-entry. I sometimes recommend that listeners start with whatever headings most strike a chord. Although the book is laid out in a somewhat linear fashion, everyone's journey of recovering is different, and journeys can be initiated in a variety of ways. Journeys of recovering may begin when a death or great loss brings up an emotional storm that opens up a hidden reservoir of childhood pain, or when a friend shares something about his or her recovery process that strikes a chord, or when a book or TV show triggers a more serious consideration of what really happened in childhood, or when something gets opened up in couples therapy, or when a healing crisis in a form of panic attacks or a nervous breakdown requires some outside help, or when the self-medicating strategies developed to soothe depression and anxiety get out of control and also require outside help. I hope that listeners will be able to use this book as a textbook for recovering, and that certain sections will call you back or forward to them repeatedly, as over time and with effective work, certain themes continue to take on ever-deepening meaning. In this vein, sometimes the best way to use this book is to listen to it once all the way through, and then listen to the sections and chapters that most capture your interest. Moreover, this is not a one-size-fits-all formula for recovering. Depending on the specific pattern of your childhood trauma, some of the advice contained herein may be less relevant or even irrelevant to you. Please then focus on the material that seems applicable and helpful to you. I also hope this map will guide you to heal in a way that helps you become an unflinching source of kindness and self-compassion for yourself, and that out of that journey you will find at least one other human being who will reciprocally love you well enough in that way. Finally, I have illustrated this work with many real-life examples. All names and identifying information have been changed to protect client confidentiality. Part 1. An Overview of Recovering. Chapter 1. The Journey of Recovering from CPTSD. I wrote this book from the perspective of someone who has complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD, and who has experienced a great reduction of symptoms over the years. I also wrote it from the viewpoint of someone who has discovered many silver linings in the long, windy, bumpy roads of recovering from CPTSD. I have also seen this type of recovering in a number of my friends and many long-term clients. First, the good news about CPTSD. It is a learned set of responses and a failure to complete numerous important developmental tasks. This means that it is environmentally, not genetically caused. In other words, unlike most of the diagnoses it is confused with, it is neither inborn nor characterological. As such, it is learned. It is not inscribed in your DNA. It is a disorder caused by nurture, or rather the lack of it, not nature. This is especially good news because what is learned can be unlearned, and vice versa. What was not provided